Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's Sunday for most of us. It's still Sunday, the 27th of April. Welcome to Jose and Chang Talk Tottenham, episode 8. Chang, good evening to you. It's early evening for you over there. Good evening to you, Chang. How are you, sir, today?
I am doing so much better with my health compared to last week. Hopefully, my internet here today will be a lot better as well. And really looking forward to getting on with today's show. I know we have lots to talk about from everything that's happened since episode 6 of last Sunday.
7.
And without further ado, back to you, Jose.
Chang, you've managed to jump an episode because it was episode 7 last week, but you managed to jump one. It was 7, not 6. Today is 8. But anyway, we will get there. We will get there. Chang is so behind that he still has on his title the perfect match, April the 18th, 2025. So,
okay, I've got to change that right now.
No, that's okay. It doesn't bother me. It's just that you're still a week behind, Chang. You're still up in the clouds, my son, up in the clouds. Good morning, as I said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Hope you're all well. Lovely. I don't know what it's like for everyone throughout the world, but for us down here sat in the south today, it's a very, very sunny start to the morning. I let my dogs out this morning. I've had a good old runabout, and yeah, it's nice and sunny down here. So let's say hello to a few people. Queen Ellie, I don't know. This said that she came in at 10:08 a.m. Seeing it's 9:35 today, it's 9:35 in the morning. She must have come in at 10:08 a.m. either yesterday or the day before, or one of the days before that. I don't know, but it was an early one. But she says hello, lads, and all in the chat. Big up, come on, you Spurs. You have Nape the Ape says morning, gents, and then goes on to say, I think, is he commented afterwards? Yeah, Nape said, Chang is such a positive guy. It's refreshingly contagious. There you go, Chang.
Can I just say something in response to this to Mr. Nip? Mr. Nip, thank you very much for being here. Thank you so very much for spending your Sunday morning, your precious Sunday morning with us. We really do appreciate your patronage and your viewership. And here's to you and your family. Hope you have yourself a fantastic Sunday and a wonderful end to the weekend.
Chang is my director of sales also. Jimmy Hotspur says, pick up Jose Chang and the chat. Good morning. Good morning to you, Jimmy. Hope you're well, sir. Paige is here. Says, good morning, Jose, Mr. Chang and chat. Good morning to you, Paige. I hope you are well. Graham's here. Says, good morning, Jose, Mr. Chang. Hope you're both well. Good morning, Graham. I hope you're well, sir. I hope you're well. Mr. Bonner is in the house. God, good morning, Jose Chang and everyone in the chat. Hope you're all well and pumped for the game today. Come on, you Spurs. Good morning, Wayne. I hope you are very, very well, sir. Pay says, well, you were under the weather, Mr. Chang, so we can't blame you for not remembering an episode. There you go, Mr. Chang. You're getting some sympathy from the crowd, Chang. Sympathy from the crowd. So we need to start, as we say, these shows are weekly, so we discuss anything in and around Tottenham for the last week. So our last show was last Sunday, same time. So therefore, we hadn't played a match because we didn't play till Monday night last week. So with that being said, the only place to start, just before I do, you have Jesse says, morning, Jose Chang. Hope you both all just popped in to smash a like. Harry's playing football this morning. Last game of the season for him. Jess, how's he doing? How's he doing in his football team? Is he winning? Is he doing well? Is it his first season? Second season? You know, I know that you football runs in the family with you playing football as well. But I wish Harry all the very best, and I hope he's really enjoyed his season. And what I will say, it's important to try and keep the youngsters to continue to play football or any other sport, to keep them out of mischief and out of harm's way. So hopefully he's still in love with football, continues to be in love with football, and that will stand him in good stead, both mentally and physically. Physically, yeah, because you keep me fit, but mentally to have that banter and stuff with your friends and stuff like that, it's just superb. And Jesse's just telling us second season back-to-back promotions, doing very well, Jose. Oh my lord! So we have. Can I call him Mr. Wrexham or Mr. Mini Wrexham? We'll call him Mr. Mini Wrexham. You are aware, Chang, that Wrexham got promoted yesterday, so they've done back to back. They've done 3 back-to-backs.
I was aware that they won their game by 3-0. That's what I know. And they are now in the championship. If memory serves me right, they have been promoted to the championship. So they are going to be rubbing shoulders with the likes of Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton, I think.
Yeah. So 3 back-to-back. So we've got Harry. Harry is, we'll call him Mini Wrexham, as he's on the back-to-back, and they'll go for another back next season as well. But where we'll start, as per usual, is we need to go rewind. Sorry guys, we need to rewind to last week, and we start with Chang, the defeat against Nottingham Forest. The floor's yours. What are you going to say about this, Chang? What's your words of wisdom for this now?
I'm not going to make excuses, but I believe this 15th loss by a single goal margin this current season has now surpassed and superseded that of QPR's 14 losses in a single league in the top flight back in 2013, I believe it was 2012, 2013, and this in itself speaks volumes of the way we just give away goals willy-nilly. I mean, again, I have to thank, I have Vicario and Bentancur to thank for putting me to bed very early on a Sunday night. Just that sight of Vicario flapping from the corner, Vicario flapping on the corner, gifting them their second goal. I told myself, you know what, that's that for the day. I'm not going to let this hang over me and be detrimental to my health any further. I believe they even scored a third goal that was ruled offside. I could be wrong, but somewhere between the first and second goal, I believe there was also a third goal that was ruled offside by the tightest of margins, and just that in itself is enough to tell you that we should have lost that game by a whole lot more. But surprisingly, when I woke up, I looked at the statistics, and this is based purely on what I saw on statistics. We had something like 70% of possession to their 30%, and we had a lot more shots on target. So something must have gone right for us in the second half. And again, hats off to Richarlison. I believe he has another goal to his tally now, another league goal to his tally. So hopefully that should raise his current his current valuation, his current market price, in the hopes that we can try and regain, or just remake as much as we can from his purchase. So that's good for him as he builds on his goal scoring form from between now to pre-season. And that's, I think, consecutive league defeats now. Consecutive league defeats to the likes of Nottingham Forest, and I think it was Wolverhampton Wanderers the week before. I mean, I'm not going to spoil the preview for Liverpool just yet, but I think only a Europa League win or a Europa League, trophy would save Big Angel's job. Although even that is still up for debate. But we might even go into this a little bit later on with the permutations with. As to what will happen to Big Ange, shall we find ourselves the unlikely winners of this season's Europa League? But other than that, Jose, another loss is a loss, and absolutely no excuses. Absolutely no excuses when I saw the likes of Van der Ven and Romero and Udogi and I think it was Spence. Yes, I think, was it Spence or Porro? One of those started, and it was quite a strong lineup. And I was expecting us to play the kids. We didn't. We gave it a good go. But unfortunately, Nuno is making himself proud. Nuno is showing us why it was a mistake for us to have released him before we snapped up Conte. So let's not be sour grapes over it. I'm not going to, cry crocodile tears or be sour grapes on letting Nuno go for next to nothing. But onwards and upwards, and come on, you Spurs.
So what we've got, so you've got Luke, sorry, just before we carry on. Luke, good morning, Luke. It says, big up Jose Chang in the chat. Good morning, Luke, mate. I hope you are well this Sunday morning. Jimmy also says, Chang, truth is Forest just sat back on their lead with good game management and we weren't breaking them down. And Nate the Ape says, I could be wrong, but Wood's feet looked on the side to me, even though he was leaning in an offside position. He only touched the ball with his feet to score the goal too. I don't remember the offside rule. All you got to do is, if any part of your body is offside, any goal scoring part of your body, so anything that a goal could count from, then you are deemed to be offside. So if he's shoulder blade, you can score with your shoulder blade. So like I'm wearing a top now, anything below the top line becomes handball. So shoulder blade, if you're leaning forward, your shoulder blade is an active part of the body that a goal can be scored off. So therefore you're then deemed to be offside. So it doesn't matter about your feet and stuff like that, but it is what it is. And then you've got the semi-offside technology. So the offside was then called. It wasn't called straight away type of thing by VAR. VAR did have to have a look at it and was semi-automated offside to show us that the guy was offside. Did take a while. It wasn't, for me, if you're going to bring semi-automated offside in, it should automatically tell you straight away, not let's review it, let's view it, and then show you the picture a lot later on. So because they hung around, the boys, the players hung around waiting for that decision. What I will say, yeah, Forest started. I'm not going to say that Forest started like a house on fire. I just think that we started at sixes and sevens. And by starting at sixes and sevens, and when I say sixes and sevens, it was probably 6 or 7 players that were still asleep, hadn't come out of the dressing room. And when the game started, it doesn't help. Forest are playing keep ball. We're at sixes and sevens, and that led to the mayhem of the first 20 minutes, I'd say, of the game. And by then, after the 20 minutes, they were already 2-0 up. The second goal that they scored was ruled offside, and then they scored a legitimate second goal, and they were 2-0 up. And then after that, I'll be honest, we just huffed and puffed. It's interesting because there's a lot of people, Chang, I don't know if you've seen comments from people since last week, but there's a lot of people vilifying and saying that, we were awful and things like that. But for me, and I'm going to be honest here, I saw signs of encouragement in the sense that we had 2 players that were prepared to go at their defenders. Whether they beat them, successfully or unsuccessfully, they were at least prepared to go at their defenders, which I've not seen much of this season at all. So when people talk about this fabled football system that the certain manager brings with him, saw more of that fabled system, so to speak, with the way that the 2 wide boys attacked last week. Yeah, I think if I remember rightly, the stat says, or someone said, I don't know because I'm not a stats person, but someone said that it was the most crosses in a Premiership game in a season. So at the end of the day, you've got to take the bad, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. We didn't finish. The one thing we at the start of the season, we were scoring goals, right? We were scoring goals, and people were saying that we were finishing our dinner. Last week on Monday, we didn't finish our dinner at all because the crosses that they were putting in either weren't reaching the striker, they were going in the box and they were being cleared. But it was a sheer multitude of the effort to try and get past your player and put crosses in. And for me, that is a positive. Whether they came off or not, for me, it's a positive that we're actually doing that, as opposed to horseshoe football that we've been put up with all season, where the wide boys get the ball and they just pass it back on a rodeo to each other. Sorry, Chang, go on.
Yeah, no, sorry. I needed to let you finish there first because I had a very important question to ask about that statistic about the most crosses recorded this current season. Is it the most crosses in a single game by both teams or by one single team?
I think it was. I think the stat was it's the most crosses by a single team this season.
And that team being Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah,
ideally?
against Forest. Yeah, we just kept getting the ball out wide, and we just kept putting it into the box, So whether it was on a cross or whether it was taking a man on, we just kept putting it in the box. More often than not, we wouldn't find our man, but we were putting it in the box, which is not what we normally do. I still say that sometimes, and I said this earlier on this season, when we played against Manchester City and we beat them 4-0, 2 of the goals came out from the right-hand side from Kulusevski. And Kulusevski is not a winger. But the thing that Kulusevski does is Kulusevski's quality means that he gives himself 5 or 10 seconds, right? And what he does, he looks up. So before he crosses the ball, he looks up at the play, and he set Maddison up for one of the goals against Man City, where he's got the ball out wide, stopped, looked up, then put the ball in. The players that we have at the moment, it seems to be it's indoctrinated into them. If you get past the player, just put the ball in. Don't look where you're putting it, just put it into the box and hope for the best. So a lot of the stuff were either going behind or in front or nowhere near the players that were going into the box. So, but for me, even though we didn't score from a lot of these and a lot of that possession, it was good to see that we were actually attacking and taking players on. That was good to see. And if not, but we were putting crosses in, that we weren't going back to the horseshoe football of the Premiership. But, that's the only positive I'm going to take out of the game, is that, we went against the grain. We didn't do the horseshoe in football. After, Forest, people will say that Forest sat down or sat on the lead from the 20th minute onwards, and it's down to Tottenham to break them down. But I felt that Tottenham, with the pressure that Tottenham were putting on as well, I also think that, not enough kudos is given to the fact that we just went at them. People will say, yeah, it's well defended by Forest, but I think you've got to give props to our players as well, because we attempted, we tried, and what a game it may have been had our players came out of the changing rooms and the tunnel ready to play a game, and not wait for Nottingham Forest to take that 2-goal lead before thinking to themselves, hold on, we're at a football match here, we better get started. So, right, what are we going to say? So Finn's here, says, morning chaps, loving the cut, Chang. I said that to Chang when I first saw him this morning. And then you've got Mr. Agenbars here, says, morning Jose and Mr. Chang. Good morning, Chris. I hope you are well, sir. I hope you are well. Nape says, is the problem the quality of the crosses or the position of the forwards, or both? I think it's, for me, Nape, I'm going to say quality of the crosses, because if you cross and you look to who you're crossing to, then you're more often than not, if your touch is right, then you'll find or it'll fall near the player that you're aiming for. However, if you go and you play a ball in blindly, then the ball can go anywhere within the box and may not reach the forwards at all. So I think the problem, the quantity of crosses was enough, but the quality wasn't, if that makes any sense. We had more than enough crosses, but the quality just wasn't there, is what I'm going to say. Wayne says, we absolutely finished our dinner before all the injuries. Now it seems we're fighting for scraps. We need to be clinical with the crosses and get on the end of them. But the thing is, though, Wayne, for me, is that when certain players are fit again to play, what selection is Mr. Postecoglou going to select? Because we look like a blunt tool when we're playing with certain players in the front three. We look blunt completely. But on Monday, I thought we looked, I don't think we looked blunt in the sense of our attacking, We looked blunt with our crossing because we didn't find players, but at least we crossed the ball. When you bring certain players into the team, or you bring certain permutations in the team, we don't cross anything. We just play horseshoe football. So it remains to be seen. Chang responding back to Mr. Finn. The last All Blender, Monk. Look at the deal with this run out in the Europa League semis. Look at that. It's Mr. Shem Tan. Good morning, Shem. I hope you're well, mate. Says good morning, Mr. Bossman Jose. And the youngest looking old man, Mr. Chimichanga Chang. Hope you're both well and having a good weekend. We are both happy and well that we have you here, sir, and all of you. And Chang is saying good morning to Mr. Agambar. Wayne says, Chang, don't you mean the Europa League final? And then you've got, oh, look at this, the Sheraton House. Good morning, all. We did only lose by 1 goal. So do we get a point for that? No, we don't, Mark. We don't. Has Mr. Chang become a Tibetan monk now? Shentan asks. Wayne has also said, the horseshoe football gets on my tits. Has for years. Have a crack from outside the box and test their defence and the goalkeeper. Here, here. And he says, what frustrates me is we actually have the players to get those good crosses in. I can't even remember who started for us, Chang. I'm going to have to look to see who started for us.
Vicario for sure, and Richarlison too, if memory serves me right. I believe one of the Frenchmen started on the left. It was it Tel or Odebeer started on the left, because Son was definitely ruled out, as he is going to be tonight.
Thingy started. Matthias Tell definitely started. Do you know what? I'm going to bring up one of these so we can see it. It's the easiest way to do it. The easiest way to do it. All right.
Let me help you there. Jose. Mine's almost up.
And I bring it up from the BBC because they do some stuff that I like. So I'm going to bring it up from the BBC. Right, here we go.
Okay, wow, you beat me to it.
There we go. Present this one. So it's 2-1. Lineups. It was Odebeer Tell. So there's the lineup, okay? And you can see the substitutions that were made there as well.
By the way, Jose, before you go any further, speaking of Tel, I have to wish Matthias Tel a happy birthday today. Matthias Tel's birthday is today, the 27th of April, and he shares a birthday with Kuti Romero. So a very happy birthday to both Kuti Romero and Matthias Tel, who celebrates their birthday today.
So Matthias Tell must be 20 today then. 20? Is that right?
Yes, that is correct, Jose. He's 20 today.
And I don't know what Romero is. What's Romero? 27?
27 as of today.
Okay. So there's the lineup. So Odebeer Tell played wide. Richarlison down the middle. At half-time, both centre-backs were changed over. So they brought Davis and Danso on. Solanke and Brennan Johnson, then double substitution again with 23 minutes to play. They took Kulusevski and Odebeer off and put Johnson and Solanke on. And then Bergvall came on for Papsar in the 81st minute. Match stats. Right, there's a match stats chat. Can you see the graph here with the yellow and white?
Yes, this is the 70%. This is the 70 to 30% possession that I was referring to at the beginning.
I was talking about just above the match momentum.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So it shows you the match momentum above it.
Okay, so we were on top pretty much. We were pretty much on top, except maybe for somewhere around the hour mark. But otherwise, we were pretty much on top most of the game.
Yeah. There's the possession you allude to. So 22 shots, 6 on target for Tottenham, 4 for Forest, 3 were on target. Touches inside the boxes, 43 for Tottenham and 4 for Nottingham Forest. Their goalkeeper made 4 saves, Chang, so our keeper made 1. We had 7 corners to their 1. What does the attack say? Okay. The attack doesn't say crosses, does it? No.
Hang on, Jose, hang on. Is it only 1 shot on target for the opposition? Am I reading this correct? 1 or 2? Is it 1 shot on target for the opposition or 2?
No, they had 3 on target. Look, 4
3.
shots.
Okay, sorry.
And had 3 on target. We had 22 and 6 on target. But then when you look at the attack, it tells you there's 6 shots were on target, 3 were on target for them. We had 12 off target. They had 1 off target. We had 4 block shots, so they blocked 4 of our shots. We had 6 attempts from out of the box to their 3. We had one on one attempt to their 0. They were offside 3 times compared to our 0. And then it talks about all this XG and XA, and yeah, football's become a bit mad. Defensively, they made 30 tackles, Chang, to our 14. They won 17 of their 30 tackles. We won 10 off our 14 tackles. 4 yellow cards for them and 1 for us. They made 54 clearances to our 17. They made 31 headed clearances to our 12. That shows you that we must have put the ball in the box. 31 headed clearances. Duels won. They won 67 duels and we had won 43. And they cleared 1 off the line and they made 1 error leading to a shot. Let me see. We're still the Kings, Chan. We're still the Kings. Look. Backward passes, Chang. 72 backward passes to their 37. We are still the king. Right, there's the crosses, Chang. Can you see the crosses there?
Yep, I can see it now.
52 total crosses. That's a lot of crosses.
Wow. I would like to see. Is there a stat there that says how many of those 52 crosses were actually met by a hit or one of our players?
No.
Or is it just say crosses? Oh, too bad.
This is
too
crosses.
bad.
And then it says successful final third passes, 145 to their 36. I mean, the stats just tell you, you know, if you were to read these stats and not see a score line, you would have thought the ones in yellow had won the game. Would that be fair?
I mean, let's be honest. That is why I wanted to clarify on the shots on target, Jose. For only 3 shots on target, and for them to score 2 of the 3 shots on target, that means they have a conversion rate of 66% on the day. That is about 2/3, and that in itself shows how potent and lethal they are in front of goal compared to our single goal. So I think there is where the difference lies. Of course, calamities and mistakes by our own players, like the way Vicario flapped at the corner, that would have contributed to their goals. But nonetheless, a goal is a goal, however you look at it. And well, I can only sympathize with Bentancur and the wicked deflection that I think it came off either his thigh or his calf en route to them opening the scoring. But all these goals, regardless if it's by our own mistake or by our own design or from their own effort, a goal's a goal. So no complaints about that. Back to you, Jose.
Yeah, it just goes to show, for anyone that likes stats, Stats are an arse. What we got here? The Sheriff and Jack, the worst manager I've ever seen. So Mark's gone from Mark used to be heavy duty, leave you out. And it looks like he's lending his ear now to Ange rather than Levy. Because all I see is Ange out now from Mark. But I know that he's Levy out as well. Wayne Bonner says, I like Telenoda, but they're a foundation to build on. My issue is Solanke. Dropping deep, grafting for the team. He needs to stay up top and take care of business. Don't disagree with you, Wayne. Jimmy Hotspur says, our forwards aren't up to the job. None of them. Great stuff, Chang, from you. From you. Good morning, Jose, Chang, and the Cockerel crew. Hope you're all well. We have Drula here. Good morning, Drula. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Wayne Bonner says, one thing we need to do in the transfer window is build on our midfield. Good morning, Bella. She says, hello, lads. I hope you're well. Mark says, Wayne, I'd sooner gross. He had more PPG than this fall. Hopefully Tottenham America can celebrate a win against Liverpool for their birthday, says Nate. Good morning, Carl. How are you, sir? I hope you are well. Says, good morning, gents. Anyone in the chat? Good morning, Carl. As I said, I hope you're well. Shemtam says, the whole of the Liverpool are gearing up for the Premier League winners' party because they know that, just like us, we know Spurs ain't showing up to spoil the party today. Really frustrated with the loser. Wayne, near enough full strength against Forest. We need to go full strength today, and we need a forward who's consistent with putting the ball in the back of the net. Shemtam says mentality with this team under Lange and Levy. The Sheriff says surely we deserve a point for these stats. 19th defeat is incoming this afternoon. Nape says Peter Crouch would have loved to play in this one. You do realise this is how Forest have been playing all season. Can we get a retirement, says Wayne. Patriot says bonjour. Bonjour, Patriot. I hope you're well. Cy Dancers here says morning, everyone. Good morning, Cy. Good morning. I hope you're well, Cy. Right, so I am aware of the way that Forest have played all season, right? But Forest have also lost games. They've not. I mean, again, they've won a lot more than what they've lost, but Forest have lost 9 games this season. So Forest have played like that all season. It's been successful the way that they've played. You know, it has been successful. We can see that from where, you know, they are in the league compared to us and a fair few other teams that were probably fancied more than Forest this season. But I was having this conversation with someone the other day, Chang, and I said that the type of team that Forest have and the formation that they have in their 4-3-3 and the players that they've got at Nuno's disposal would probably have suited Ange more than the players that he has at his disposal at the club at the moment. Because when you look at their forwards, what does Chris Wood do? Scores goals. Okay. And they've got Elanga and Hudson-Odoi who are, they're not inside forwards, they're wingers, and they get the ball into the box. And they also cut in, like the normal footballer in the Premiership now is, and probably it's going around into Europe as well, is that you don't have people that play on their natural wings anymore. You have a right-sided inside forward or winger who's left-footed, and you'll have a left-footed inside winger stroke inside forward who is right-footed. So there's all this inverting coming on. You have to cut in. There's no players that are prepared to go out, outside. Gone are the days where you had players that would go both ways, go both in and out. So taking a player on and cutting back inside. We don't have them type of players. And, you know, at the end of the day, I just feel that the Forest formation and the way that the players that they've got, the personnel they've got, would probably have suited Ange a lot more than what we've got. I know that we go and buy players supposedly for the manager and to play his system. And I'll ask you, do you think we've done that, Chang? Do you think we've bought the players to play the system that Ange wants? Or do you think that some of them have been opportunistic signings? Or do you think it's bad scouting and bad talent ID, because a lot of people in the community and a lot of fans say, not everybody, but a lot of fans say that we play players like round pegs in square holes, so to speak. So someone like Brennan Johnson, I'm going to argue the point that Brennan Johnson for me at Forest was a second striker or a striker in a 4-4-2 formation. So he either played up front in the two or he just dropped behind the forward slightly. And at Tottenham, he has been bought to play this wide position. But he's not the only one. There's other players within the team. And there's a lot of people that say that we're shoehorning players into positions that they're not their natural position. Now, so where do you stand with it? Is it poor recruitment? Has Ange been backed with the players that he wants? Or has it been, as I said, poor talent ID? And what's your take on it all?
I think it's a mixture of everything, Jose. Regards to everything that you've just mentioned, there's a little bit of us getting players over the line just because they were opportunistic signings or because they were below market value. There's also the problem with our talent ID. I mean, Scottman and Johan Langer, you just have to look at the signings that they've gotten for us compared to those of Paraticis, and you can see the stark contrast in talent ID there. And then there's also the problem of our signings not maturing just yet. When I say that, I'm talking about the Tels or the Oderbeers, your Bergvalls, maybe even the Luka Vuskoviches and Ashley Phillips, who aren't even part of our setup. So there is that as well. All in all, I would say that we still have a long ways to go to actually fulfill what is what is expected of us fans, whereby we actually have a squad that is capable of not only challenging on all fronts, but giving it a real goal where it really matters, which is the Premiership. I mean, getting to a semi-final like the League Cup and also the Europa League is all well and good. But if you are not doing the business in the domestic league, then I think that's where we lose a lot of our attraction. And I think that's going to show. That is clearly going to show this coming summer as far as our transfer incomings are concerned. Hopefully that's everything that you just mentioned. Some of those will be rectified, starting with Paratici. If Paratici is back on our books, then that will go somewhere to correcting all the wrongs, especially the scouting and the talent ID. And then there is also that point which you made last week, in which we should actually splash the cash where it's necessary in terms of signing players for the right signing fee and the right wages, just so that we can have at the very least a squad that is on par with those in the top 4 or even the top 5. And last but not least, it's also a lot to do with the manager. And again, I'm not going to throw Big Ange under the bus just yet, but today and also midweek or even to the end of the month, the next 3 competitive matches are going to be crucial for us, especially that second leg of the semis. So a lot of this has to be rectified soon, because we cannot prolong this any longer. I don't know about you, Jose, but there is I did mention something about myself before we started the show, and I'm glad that I don't have any more hair to pull out, when things go sour for us during the actual match itself. So no more hair pulling for me, seeing as I have no more hair to pull. So hopefully, come next season, things will change for the better, and everything and anything that you just said earlier would be rectified sooner rather than later. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
Daniel's here, says big ups, a small downs to you, Dan. I hope you're well, sir. Ed M says, morning, Jose, Chang and chat. If Liverpool win title today, then Arsenal players will have to give them a guard of honour at the Emirates next week. Interesting. You have Els Bells is here. Hello, boys. Big up, loving the new haircut, Chang. Wow. Are we going to spoil Liverpool's title celebrations delayed by a week and bag ourselves all 3 points? It will be just like us to do so. Come on, you Spurs. Sheriff says, what is an hands player? A superhuman athlete with still hamstrings. Right. Danielle. Good morning, Danielle. I hope you're well, says God. Now he means good morning to all. Come on, you Spurs. Good morning, Danielle. I hope you're well. Mr. Blackshaw's in the house. Good morning, Jose and Chang. Hope you're both good. Mr. Blackshaw, I hope you are well, sir. And then Rinketic is here, says morn. I'm sure he means morning. Good morning, Rinketic. I hope you are well. I hope you're well. And Mr. Bonner has become a YouTube channel member. Thank you very much, Mr. Bonner, for joining the crew. It's much appreciated. God bless you, sir. Queen Ellie says, just done a promo, Senor Garcia. 4 more joined already. Bloody hell, pro. Look who's here. It's Senor Coba. Says, good day, Jose, the Godfather and Chang. Cobas, good evening to you, Mr. Shear. I hope you're well.
Very quickly, Jose, just adding something to what Queen Ellie mentioned earlier, her adding another, what was it, four more subscribers. I had to say
promos.
before we...
No, she did promotions.
Promos, okay. 4 more promotions. I had to say before we carry on any further, massive congratulations are in order to you, Senor Garcia, for reaching your milestone 1,000 channel subscribers. Congratulations, and onwards and upwards with the subscribers to the channel, Jose.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been 2 years in the making. Finally got there. And now, I'll be honest with you, now I'm relaxed. I'm a backseat driver now, because to me, I think that if you get to 1,000 subs, and everybody that starts a channel should be getting to 1,000 subs, because once you've done that, then you can just relax. You don't have to. It's the monkey off your back, so to speak. You can just relax after that. And ever since I've got there, I've just been able to relax, because you've done it now. I'm not chasing 100,000 subscribers. It was never the case. The case was always to become a YouTube partner by getting to 1,000. I've done that, and now I'm totally relaxed. I don't have to chase the ace anymore. People come, people go. If people like what they hear, they'll come, they'll listen. If people don't like it, then they won't come and they won't listen. As I keep saying to people, I always say to people, only watch content that you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with the content that I produce, don't watch. If you are comfortable with it, then please come on board. Come join us. The one thing that you find here is that we don't tend to fly off the handle. We tend to keep it, on a level. And we all get emotional. We all have our own thoughts, but this is not one of them. Well, I've not seen much go on this channel that excites people to say, oh, let's get over to Tel Cockerel because he's gone radio rental today, or he started doing this and he started doing that. So it is what it is. You've got Blaine here, says, morning, Jose. Good morning, Blaine. I hope you are well, sir. As we say in Aussie rules, do something, says David Shear. Wayne Bonner says, next season will be new manager, new players, and hopefully new owners. I don't know. Wishing. Rinketti is calling me the GOAT again. Thank you very much, Rinketti. Blaine, with his 1 month member chat, says, big up Jose and Chang. You've got Seals Diamond Says, buenos dias, Jose Chang, Sonny. People are saying he should go. He's done, yes, on his standards. It's been a terrible season. Or has it really? But I'd rather have him playing than him paying for Tel. I think playing rather than Tel. Seals, I think Sonny could suit a system that's different. Sonny could also play for a team that plays differently to the way that we're set up. But the way that Sonny's played for us, Sonny's not that man. Sonny's not a winger. Sonny is an inside, can play inside forward. We saw that under Pochettino. He can play inside forward. The position that Sonny plays at the moment, he has played there for Poch as well. He did play there for Poch. And people forget that because he was converted more centrally under Mourinho, converted him more centrally. And I think Conte and Nuno played him in them positions as well. But under Poch, he played out wide for us under Poch. When he played out in Germany, when we bought him from Germany, he was playing the inside forward role, wide inside forward role for in the German side as well. It seems to be that, you know, at the end of the day, we all know this, right? Father Time catches up with you. And there are some things that you cannot keep doing. You cannot keep doing and you cannot keep doing. And you change the way that you play football. I go back, and I mean, Wayne Rooney was a totally different type of player. But Wayne Rooney started out as an out-and-out 9, then dropped into play 10, and then dropped even deeper still to be part of it. He looked like he was playing as an 8 at Man United. So, you know, at the end of the day, people adapt to, you know, to their football. Glenn Hoddle was an out-and-out central midfielder for many, many a year. But then Glenn Hoddle ended up dropping back to play libero sweeper, you know, in these days at Chelsea and Swindon. He ended up playing libero sweeper. You get older, your body adapts, you play differently. And I just think that with Sonny, the system and the way that we set up to play, it's not conducive for Sonny. And on the eye, he looks poor at a lot of the time on the eye. But when you read his stats, it's just like, really? His stats are ludicrous. But on the eye, it just looks awful. But his stats are ludicrous. It's the same as people say that Maddison's powder puff and Maddison's X, Y, and Z. And you've got Maddison lovers, you've got Maddison haters. But then when you look at the stats, Maddison's pulling off numbers. Some people say Kulusevski doesn't look great on the ball and stuff like that at times. But then you start looking at stats, and this is what I'm saying. The eye test is one thing, stats are another. The season's been a long one, and it's been a very, very long season for us. And some players, just on the eye, don't look right. But when you start looking at them, drilling into their numbers, they're a lot better than what we see on the eye. So, you know, Nate says, congrats. Thank you very much, Nate. The sheriff says, as you know, Jose, all the best drivers pass first time twice. David Shear, YouTube tycoon Jose. Ellie's saying, yeah, Seals Diamond's Sun stats are pretty decent, aren't they? And I'm agreeing. The stats. It's just the eye. Nate Yates says, El tells cool, calm, collected demeanor, keeps the peace. Romero could learn something from me, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Shemta says, well, I'm cancelling my subscription until Mr. Chang grows an afro. So I'll be back in 3 years. Fantastic. Green Ellie says, Jose Chang, you offer sense and sensibility. Great analysis. I love you both. Thank you very much. Good morning, Dan. I hope you're well, sir. Good morning to the Spurs Dan analyst. Good morning, Dan. I hope you're well. You got Queen Ellie says, Chang, you look even younger and loving the yellow Spurs shirt too. The sheriff says, do not mention Glenn Hoddle and Son in the same sentence. You know what I'm talking about, Mark. I'm just talking about age catches up with a lot of players. And if you're played, people adapt and people change to the way they play. You know, at the end of the day, yes, yeah, people adapt and change the way they play. I mean, if I look at De Bruyne used to be all action for me, for Man City, all action. He used to play 8, 10, false 9. He used to play out wide, he used to be everywhere. But even De Bruyne now, De Bruyne's become more conservative with the way that he plays because De Bruyne's getting older, you know, so he's changed the way that he plays. And a lot of players do this. A lot of players transform and become a different version of themselves. It doesn't make them any worse or less of a player. They just have a different version of themselves as they get older. And I just feel that with Sonny, we're just seeing a different version because he's getting older. And as I said, on the eye, it don't look great at times, but it doesn't look great for a lot of our players. But then when you start looking at stats, then the stats will tell you that he's got so many goals and so many assist involvements. And it's not as if we've had a shed load of penalties this season either. So, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not having a go at anyone. I'm just saying that people adapt at the way that they play. Seals Diamond says 100% agree, but as so-called super sub with minimum minutes with another manager, he could still do his job. I think he could be Sonny in a different system. For me, Sonny in a different system, right, at Tottenham or away from Tottenham, could flourish. I think Sonny could flourish in a 4-4-2 as being part of the two. I think Sonny could flourish in a 3-5-2 as being part of the two. I think if you played a 5-3-2 again as part of the two. Sonny, if you played him just off the striker as part of the two, I think works. Sonny, you know, when he had Kane up front with him, Sonny wasn't the striker. Kane was the 9 and Sonny was your 10. And Sonny played off Kane. And it worked really, really well. And I still think that he could do that job now. Right now, he could still do that job for Tottenham and for any team. It's just that we choose not to play with a 2 up front. And because of that, Sonny's played differently. If we went back to a system like that, I'm sure Sonny would flourish. As I said, it's for people to, you know, people are going to have their own opinions, and that's mine. I just think he would flourish. Good morning, Lee. Lee Statham TV. Lee's here, says, hello, everyone. Good morning, Lee. I hope you are well, sir. I hope you're well. Queen says, if Chang grows an afro, Shimtan, Jose will show with him will be called El Tel Afro El. Ellie is on fire this morning. The Danlist says, I would like Son under a better manager next season, but I agree, he's getting older now, so there would be a natural decline. Like I said, Dan, you just adapt. You adapt and change. I still think that in a two up front, not as a central striker, but playing alongside someone or just behind the central striker like he did with Kane, I think that he would still flourish. I think Son would still flourish immensely. And it could be at our club, it could be at Tottenham next season, or if he was to go elsewhere, I'm sure that he wouldn't be played out on the wing. Where does he play for South Korea, Chang? When he plays for South Korea, what position does Son play?
I'm pretty sure he plays on the wing because that means the Wolverhampton Wanderers striker Hwang Hee-chan. Yes, yeah. Hwang Hee-chan is the out-and-out striker for South Korea. And if memory serves me right, I think Son is on the left. He's a left winger. And he sometimes does interchange with that PSG player, Lee Kang-in. So Son is on the left, Lee Kang-in is somewhere operating behind Hwang Hee-chan, and Hwang Hee-chan is the out-and-out striker for South Korea, Jose.
So is the PSG boy a 10 then? So does he play in the hole behind the striker?
8. He's sometimes an 8 and sometimes he's a 10. So he actually interchanges. He can drop back and he can go very far forward.
Okay, fair enough. Mark's just simply saying, so why doesn't this uses full do this? I don't know, Mark, because it's, as I said, it's only an opinion that I'm saying. Just putting an opinion out there, rightly or wrongly. You know, I don't get paid the big bucks to make these calls, I'm afraid. But you know, mine's just an opinion. Queen Ellie says, Sonny, we could get so much more out of him as an inside forward. True. Rinketic saying, yeah, it's Lee Kang. And Shemtan says, Son has played great under different styles until Ange got here. And now everyone says he's done. It's ridiculous. Right, Chang, I think we spent a fair chunk of this talking about the defeat against Forest. I said I only have 3 talking points today. And the second one is, there we go. We move on. Do Liverpool win the title today, Chang?
In a single sentence, Jose, yes, they will win the title today, but hopefully not at the expense of our 19th league defeat this season. Meaning to say that I'm still going to stick with my 1-1 draw.
I don't know what your predictions are for this week because I never received them, so I don't know what your predictions were. So,
did Miss Kate not send them to you?
No. I was sent nothing. That's why I just didn't get no predictions.
Okay.
So.
I tell you what, I will forward all the predictions to you after the show. Then.
The game's not finished though. 5 games are played yesterday, mate.
Oh, okay, then it's fine. It's fine. I will forfeit all 5 games yesterday, and I will just make do with the remaining 5 then.
5 more. There's only 2 games being played today. That was it.
Hang on. Let me see now. Oh, sorry.
The
there are another 5 more. There are another 5 more, including the remaining FA Cup semi-final tie and 2 more midweek matches.
I didn't touch the FA Cup ones, and the midweek ones
okay.
I'm not doing until next week.
Then.
So that's all right. I'll have a chat with you after anyway. But so you're saying that you want Tottenham to draw today to avoid defeat is what you're saying. And if the draw,
yes, that is correct.
If Tottenham draw, then Liverpool still win the title because Liverpool only need a point for the title. So, okay, so right, so you're going for the draw. When I did the predictions on my show, everybody knows, regardless of what I think and don't think, I'm never ever going to back against my team. I never have done, and I never will do. That's probably why I'm not going to win predictions this year, is what I was told on Friday. In my show, I was told you won't win anything because you keep backing Tottenham all the time. So I kindly pointed out that last year's winner of the predictions was Totspurs. And Totspurs predicted Tottenham to win or not. Totspurs never ever predicted Tottenham to lose a game last season and went on to win the predictions. So all I've got to say is that, be it what it may, someone won the league last year by not predicting Tottenham losses. And then just as I say that, here we go. Dan says, head over heart, Jose. Spurs Dennis is saying to you, great Mike Chang, very clear. Jimmy Hotspur simply says, defeat number 19 in the Premier League coming today for sure. And the Sheriff says, if they score early, it will be a massacre. So you're saying that Liverpool win the title today, but you're hoping, your reasoning is that Tottenham get a draw, and that hands Liverpool the title, and we come away unscathed with a draw.
Yes, correct, Jose. And my reasoning for this, I just need to add something very quickly. My reasoning for this is that if we do avoid defeat away at the champions-elect, I honestly feel that that is the best possible way for us to prepare for Thursday night. That's all I have to say on this. And even if we do lose, and that is, I think, the most likely outcome, that we will suffer our 3rd consecutive league defeat today. If we do lose, I think it's very important for us to not pick up any unnecessary injuries, niggles, or even suspensions ahead of Thursday night. I just hope that the fans don't get too riled up and too crestfallen before our first leg of the semi-finals, Jose. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
So in that, good morning, Mr. Kaufman. Ben's here. Says good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ben. That Dan is agreeing with Jimmy. Yeah, you're right. Let's just hope we don't get battered. Dan says he thinks we'll lose 3-1. And the Sheriff says, I'll take an absolute morning if he was sacked immediately. Right. Let's get one thing right, Mark. He ain't going nowhere. Right. I know what people want and don't want and stuff like that. But I think that you're going to drive yourself into an early one if you keep, beating that same drum. He ain't going nowhere. At the end of the day, he's not going nowhere till the end of the season. Simple, he's not going. If we get defeated, if we get beaten today, he's not going today. And I just think, you drive yourself into one if you keep thinking the same thing after every game. Yeah, there's some people out there that don't want him at the club and don't want him here. But I think the sensible way is to look at it is that if he's going to go, it will be at the end of the season. Don't drive yourself mad about it, mate. Do you know what I mean? You've got saner things to do, Mr. Mark. Saner things to do. Chang, with that being said, for today, I'm going to ask the chat as well. Do you envisage many changes? What do you envisage the lineup being today against Liverpool? Bearing in mind that we have another game which might be of importance to us on Thursday, which we will come to that game. But with that in mind at the moment, do you think that Ange will think about the Thursday game? Because Ange does things that people don't agree with. Yeah. So Ange will make selections and make decisions that people don't see. And, what's he doing that for? So with that in mind, what do you think Ange will do today for his lineup? Or what would you do as a lineup today? And I'll ask the chat as well.
Okay, so this is what I've been asking for a good long while now. Since ever since we were drawn up against Frankfurt in the previous round of the Europa League, I would love nothing more than to give those substitutes, the bench warmers, the youngsters, call them what you want, all the fringe players who have not been featuring for us regularly, just go out there, do your stuff, and give Big Ange and the rest of the coaching staff food for thought as to why you, the bench warmer, should be even considered for match day squad come Thursday night. And I say this not because I want us to purposely throw the tie or to just hand Liverpool the Premiership on a silver platter. I honestly feel that we have a lot of other players who can actually do a better job, or at the very least be on par with some of our starting 11. I was just only watching the entirety of that second half between us and Elfsborg in the Europa League group stages, and I mean, I just miss those moments where you see players like a Dane Scarlett, a Callum Oluwesi, or a Demola Ajayi, or even Mikey Moore open their scoring for their senior appearances. And I honestly feel that even Kinski, who has had to take a back seat ever since Vicario has returned to the fold, I honestly feel that he himself has something different to offer. If Vicario is flapping domestically in the league almost every given week, whether it's against Wolverhampton Wanderers away at the Molineux or against Forest at home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, then drop Vicario, show everyone, especially us fans, that he's not untouchable, and that if he's not performing, then let Kinski have a go, because Kinski did hold up his end for the most part anyway, since we signed him back when Vicario was still injured. And yeah, for the rest of the players, I mean, if Solanke isn't scoring, but Richarlison suddenly is scoring, I think Richarlison has scored back-to-back league goals now against Wolves and Forest. So why not? Let's give him a chance to make it 3-3. If Richarlison can somehow score again at the Anfield, much like the way he did. Was it last season or the previous season when we clawed it back to 3-3? If he can somehow score 3 consecutive league goals, then I would say that he deserves to start ahead of Solanke on Thursday night. It's as simple as that, Jose. Play players who have something to prove and nothing to lose, and give them that impetus to actually give the manager something to think about come Thursday when the squads are selected. Having said that, there is also that counter argument that we need these players to get up to steam to bring their momentum from today onto Thursday night. But if it means going all out to prevent a defeat, to stop us from getting our 19th league defeat this season at the expense of picking up injuries ahead of our crunch Thursday night tie, then I'm sorry. Thursday night has to take precedence. It really has to. Big Ange has to see this. He has to realize and understand it, and that Thursday night's first leg tie is the only thing now that is preventing him from getting the sack early before the end of the season. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
So Dan says, yeah, we're 17th. They obviously ain't sacking him before the end of the season because surely they would have done it already. He's unfortunately here till May. And Ben says, just turn up and give it your all. Even if you lose being beaten by a better team, then there is no shame. So today, the substitutes, it's kind of weird because some of the substitutes against Forest, and I'll name the bench. It was Bergvall, Biss, Danso, Davis, Gray, Johnson, Kinski, Madison, Solanke. Right, that was the bench against Forest. Then you've got players like Mikey Moore who weren't on the bench. Right, just to name one, Mikey Moore. I'm not even looking at the other youngsters at the moment, and Oasis, the Agies that you were saying, because I think that they're a lot further away from making another appearance now that now that we've got a more fully fit squad. I'm not going to say that fully fit squad that we've got are better players. You might get more out of the youngsters who play for the badge, but the only person that's missing from that substitutes bench that could or is more advanced for an opportunity would be Mikey Moore. So today, with today in mind, do you go strong today? Do you think of Thursday? What would your starting lineup be, Chang?
That's an interesting question, Jose. As far as my starting lineup goes, I will start with the goalkeeper, just to keep it short and simple. For me, I think Vicario has to take a rest. He has to take a backseat today, and this is largely down to his his mistakes against Wolves and Forest. And if he does carry on with this form, not only is it going to be demoralizing to us fans, it's also going to demoralize his own teammates as well. And for me, I think it's only fitting that Kinski picks up where he left off before he was dropped, and that was the second leg of the semi-finals against the League Cup, where I think we lost. Was it 4-1 or 4-2? If Kinski can somehow right all those wrongs from 4 months ago, at the beginning of January, after he was signed, then maybe, just maybe, he might even be in a reckoning to start on Thursday night, because Vicario has proven that he can be a good goalkeeper, as was evident when we travel away to Frankfurt. But his league form is somewhat suspect, and those goals, those cheap goals they conceded, I mean, that should be enough for him to be dropped. So I would like to see Kinski in goal. As for our defense, well, my back four is simply just going to comprise of Kevin Denso. I would love to see Kevin Denso ahead of Romero and Van der Ven. I would also like to give Ben Davies a chance to show why experience is pivotal in any competition, be it the domestic league or in Europe. And as for our white players, well, if Porro started last Sunday, then I should give Spence a run out. If it means Udogi reclaiming his place at left back, because I don't think Udogi started against Forest, so that will be my back four. It would be Denso, Davis, Spence, and possibly Udogi.
Yeah, sorry, Udogi wasn't on the bench against Forest. It was Porro and Spencer started, but Doggy wasn't even on the bench, Chad.
All the more reason why he has to get match fit, Jose. All the more reason that he should build up some momentum ahead of Thursday night, if he is to be considered for Thursday night. Of course, not at the expense of picking up injury here, but Udogi has to start left back. That will be my back four. And as for my midfield, well, if Archie Gray is going to be making the grade, if Archie Gray is not going to be playing in centre back with either Ben Davies or Denso, then let Archie Gray start in defensive midfield ahead of Sarr or Ben Sanko or even Bissouma. And if Archie Gray is our defensive midfield, then the centre midfield is going to be either one of Madison or Bergvall partnering either Sar or Bissouma, because I think Bentancur himself needs a rest. Bentancur hasn't been the Bentancur we know that was the reason we got into the Champions League under Conte. So Bentancur should be given a rest. So my midfield trio is going to consist of either one of Bergvall or Madison with Archie Gray behind him, and one of Sar or Bissouma beside our center midfielders. As for our offense, well, I wouldn't risk Sonny today. I really wouldn't. The last thing we need is for him to be
He's
heavily
out.
criticized
Sonny's
again.
out. Sonny's
Good.
out.
That's good.
Sonny's
So-
not in today. He's not in the squad.
So now that Sonny has all been confirmed to be ruled out, then I would stick with a forward three of Richarlison up front, because if he can, like I said earlier, if he can score 3 in 3 in the league, that would be enough for him to be given a start ahead of Solanke on Thursday night. And as for our white players, well, if Tel is going to celebrate his 20th birthday today, the way any forward would like to, then I would like to see him start on the left. If it means one of Brendan Johnson or maybe even Kulusevski on the right. So it's going to be Richarlison up front with Tel or even Odebeer on the left, and possibly either one of Johnson or Kulusevski on the right.
Dan says, you have to go fairly strong or we will get battered. You can take some key players off in the second half. Yeah, I think that you go. It's a bit of a weird one because you've got nothing to play for in the league, right? And normally when teams have got nothing to play for towards the end of the season, you normally see some people making their appearances, like bringing on youngsters and stuff like that and bleeding them into the team. And because we've got nothing to play for in the league, in the sense that we're not going to win the league, we're not challenging for European places, we're not going to get relegated. Yes, you obviously try and get as many points as you can to finish higher up the table, because Mr. Levy would love the 3.1 million for every place you gain. But I think you're going to start seeing some teams that either start or put youngsters on their subs bench and bleed them in towards the end of the season. But with Tottenham, though, I don't know whether it's the right thing to do, because the chemistry is just not all there. So I don't know if it's the right thing to do. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. You have Seals Diamond says, Seals Diamond says, let me go back up. Seals Diamond says, spot on Chang, Kinski or Austin, play Davis and Danso to give us some calmness at the back. And if you watch the Forest game, he was definitely coaching the team from the back. Matteo Moreto says Christian Romero has already said yes to Atletico. Do you know what, Ronnie? I don't believe in any of the stuff that's being said at the moment, because at the end of the day, all I'm going to say, Ronnie, is that you have a buying team that says they value the player at X, Y, and Z, right? So they may say, we'll give you 30 million for the player. The selling team will have a value to them to lose that player. And the value to Tottenham for Christian Romero, I mean, I don't know what the value is because I don't sit high up on the board, but I think that Romero doesn't go for any less than 70 million. In my eyes, he's a World Cup winner, Copa America winner, whatever people think about him. We bought him for 42.5 million. I don't see him going for any less than 70. I don't see Atletico Madrid stumping up 70 mil. I really don't see it stumping up 70 mil. But this is one of these ones that will play out in the summer and we'll get to see. Unless Levy and Tottenham have lowered their expectations or what their values of their players are, I don't see Atletico having the kind of money that Tottenham would be looking for. But it remains to be seen. It's one that will be played out at the rest of the season. Ronnie says it's Danso and VDB for the rest of the season. Leave him out of the team now. Daniel says, who's the key players in the team in my eyes? Van der Ven is definitely one. I'm not risking him for the Premier League game. We're going to lose anyway and risk our most important players 4 days before Bodo. Ronnie says, big up Jose and Mr. Chang. Right. I'm going to finish off with and then I've got one question to ask you at the end. And because of your footballing experiences, Chang, I'm going to ask you one question. Europa first leg expectations, Chang. What are your expectations for Thursday?
I just hope that we win the tie, or rather, we do enough on Thursday night to see us through, even without having played the second leg. That's not to say that we are definitely going to win. I mean, of course, the odds and also the the likelihood that we win on Thursday night is considerably better than our away form, and that's where I'm hoping we seal our path into the final outright on Thursday night by maybe a 3 or 4 goal margin. That's not to say that Bordeaux Glim are any less of a team than any of the other semi-finalists. I mean, they did come from behind against Lazio away in Italy in extra time to go through on aggregate, despite being a man down and playing with a 10 men for the majority of that second half of extra time. So that in itself shows that Bodo Glimt have what it takes to win ugly, either home or away. And I'm not sure how well our players are going to deal with the AstroTurf at Norway. So for us, I think we have to get this tie done and dusted on Thursday night, and which is why I think it's very important for the fans to turn up and turn up in numbers, and also to just cheer the team on from minute one, make the stadium a cauldron for the Norwegians and the players themselves. I mean, if there was one game all season for Sonny to make his swan song recovery and return to the match day squad and really prove to us that he still can be one of the better players as far as our current squad is concerned, then I would love nothing more than to have Sonny back on a Thursday night, even if it means just playing a bit part. But to have him back will be such a big lift for the rest of the team, and for the rest of the players, whether you are Vicario in goal, Romero or Van der Ven in centre back, whether you are going to be, Jet Spence bombing down that right and also tracking back to help defend on Thursday night. I wish that every single player played like it was the final. I know it's only the semis, I know it's on the first leg, but treat Thursday night like it really was the final. And if we do win comfortably on Thursday night, then I think we can afford to maybe rethink our strategy for the second leg. I know we will cover this in a week's time from now. Next Sunday, I think it's going to be on the first week of May. So hopefully, after the Labor Day holiday on the 1st of May, we will be able to recharge and see where the second leg brings us. But after all is said and done, Jose, I wish nothing more than for us to give our best possible performance of this season on Thursday night. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
So Jimmy Hotspur's going for a 2-1 win for me. Tigaro says, evening everyone. Good evening, Tigaro. I hope you're well, sir. Daniel says, let me come up. Daniel says, basically we have to put them away in the first leg because the second leg is too much of an advantage for Bodo. Ronnie says we need to win 3 or 4-0. And look who it is, Senor Smithy. Senor Garcia Mr. Chang with the fresh prism trim. There you go. Smithy's being kind to you. For me, my expectations are that we win the match, right? Whether this sounds right or wrong, right? To me, if you've got any street footballers, street ballers, as I call them, street ballers, the people that I've learnt on the streets to play their football, cage footballers and stuff like that, they're the type of players that like to play on AstroTurf, on the 4G pitches, right? So some of the younger mob, if we've got younger players, they'll probably enjoy playing on them kind of pitches rather than your older players who are established on grass. But some of the younger players prefer, or as I call them, street ballers, they prefer playing on. They can adapt to 4G quite comfortably. I don't believe in all the hype, right? I don't believe Bodo are as great as what people make them out to be, right? My personal opinion. And at the end of the day, whether they have 3 players out, no players out, you know, we should be turning up on Thursday night and putting them to task, right? And winning that game. With the mature performance that we put in against Frankfurt, there is no reason to say that we can't produce a mature performance in the away leg. But the home leg is certainly important. And in the first leg, in the quarterfinals, we should have put Frankfurt to the sword and out of sight. And coming away 1-1, we were all gutted because we thought that game should have been 3 or 4-1. So, you know, at the end of the day, I will say that for me, the expectation is that we do win the game, whether we win it by a goal, 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, that we win the game. And when you do that, you put the pressure on the opponent. And then, and like I said, the normal thing I normally say, Chang, growing up, it used to be, you want to play your, if you're in a 2-legged affair, you want the return leg to be at your home ground. Tottenham have done it differently this year because we started with Frankfurt at home and then we went away, and now we're starting with Bodo at home and then we'll go away. So it's quite interesting that this year's worked out the shoes on the other foot compared to the way that I was normally brought up or normally was told. So they are my expectations. Daniel says, Jose, it's not just the AstroTurf, it's the weather conditions that Bodo have come equipped to. Right, in May, it's not minus 10, 15, 20. In May, yeah, the weather will be, it will be in the plus. It may not be absolutely boiling warm, but it's not going to be the minus temperatures that you get in the winter, right? So that's all I'm going to say on that. So for me, the weather shouldn't become part of it either. It'd be a bit colder than what it is in England. That's about it. But everywhere, sorry, I was going to say everywhere would be a bit colder than England, but that's not quite true. Everywhere seems to be warmer than England. So it would just be one of those countries that's slightly colder than England. Patriot says we should at least have a 2-goal lead. The last thing, because I know, Chang, you got to go, so we got to wrap up in the next 6 minutes or so. But the last thing I wanted to ask, and this was just something I just thought about because of conversations that we've had today. Tottenham next season, Chang. Is Vicario the starting goalkeeper, or do we need to go and get ourselves another goalkeeper? The reason why I ask you that is because I know you're footballing, you've grown up playing goalkeeper. So you probably understand the goalkeeper situation more than most now. And that's what I'm asking. In your opinion, is Vicario your starter for next season, or do Tottenham need to go out and buy another goalkeeper?
I honestly feel this has a lot to do, or rather his fate. Vicario's fate for me is going to be very closely related or very closely tied to that of Big Ange. If Big Ange stays, Vicario stays. If Big Ange goes, then maybe the new manager might not take a liking to Vicario, or rather his inability to control the box or even be strong in the air, as we've seen throughout this season, where he has had one too many moments where he's flapped from free kicks and corners and set pieces and you name it. So for me, Vicario's starting position or even his stay is going to be tied closely to Big Ange, much like Paratici and not Paratici, sorry, Scottman and Langer. And for me, I would still stick with Vicario, but he has to improve where it really matters, and that is his aerial ability, or rather his his ability to command the box, especially in those set pieces. And I think today, if Vicario starts today, and he's still flapping for the 3rd consecutive league game, then that would be a very good indication to maybe he's just not fit for us, or maybe he's lacking in the aerial department, which is why not many other top clubs in Europe went for him, even at his current age, compared to say when Courtois or Peter Cech or even this Loris was when we got him. So I mean, let's just hope that Vicario turns it around and he cements his spot in the starting 11, because for me he has the ability and he's shown it more than once. But my biggest problem with him is his aerial ability. Other than that, I think he's a good leader. He's a good leader because he's the one who's always communicating with his players, his defense. He's always setting up, the defense whenever we are against it. But his aerial ability is where it's lacking, and that has actually contributed to too many cheap goals this season, which is why we are staring down the barrel of our 19th defeat today. So yeah, to answer your question, Jose, Vicario's fate is tied very closely to that of Big Ange, and even if Big Ange leaves, but he is looking to stay, then he has to improve with his aerial ability. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
It's interesting the comments you make, Chang, because one, for me, Vicario was a Paratici signing. I know he didn't come in under Paratici, but all the groundwork and all the legwork was done by Paratici, and he was signed. Yes, he was signed when Langer came on board, but Langer started in the summer. All the work on Vicario had been done leading up to the summer, right? And it was all done by Paratici. And then when they handed the reins over, the deal was next to done already. So Vicario may go down as a Langer signing, but for me, it was always Paratici. He's done all the work in the background. Now, last season, for me, Vicario was found out at the beginning of last season. So by the third round of the FA Cup, when we were beaten by Man City 1-0 last season, when they started putting players on the goalkeeper, they started, marking Vicario, and Vicario would flap, and he wasn't controlling his box. I think he got found out, but I think he went away and he worked on it. And this season, I think he's got better. Commanding his box, I think he's got better. However, and this is a however, his distribution with his feet, passing the ball out to people in dangerous positions, I think his distribution with his feet is absolutely got worse. So he's improved on what he was bad at from last season for me, and he's regressed on what he was good at last season for me. And so you've got a Vicario like upside down type thing. Vicario was standing like that, and now he's standing like that. You've got an upside down version of the player you had last season. For me, if you want to, your foundation starts from your goalkeeper. Always has done and always will do. Your foundation starts from your goalkeeper. And I think to myself that Tottenham, unless there's a massive improvement on him, I think Tottenham could do well by getting another goalkeeper or giving a goalkeeper within the club a chance at first team football. Because to me, I think the proof's in the pudding, in the sense that Italy have got Donnarumma and they've got Vicario, and I can't remember who the other goalkeeper is, but Donnarumma always plays for Italy. It's always Donnarumma that plays. It's never Vicario that plays. Vicario hardly gets a look in at Italy. He's always warming that bench up, but hardly gets a look in. And I'm not going to turn around and say to people that that Donnarumma is the absolutely best, one of the best goalkeepers I've seen, because he's not. I think the Italians used to have good goalkeepers in the past. Dino Zoff started it many, many years ago. And then you've got 2 or 3 goalkeepers in recent times that have been absolutely monstrous and bring great goalkeepers. I don't think the Italians are blessed with the greatest of goalkeepers, but Vicario never ever gets into that first 11 at Italy. It's always Donnarumma. So for me, either he improves, or if he doesn't, give another goalkeeper a chance. It's your backbone of your team, and if he's going to keep making mistakes, and be the keeper that he has been, like I said, then for me, I think you just got to start with someone else.
Yep.
But also it could be, and I'm just saying it could be the style of football that we play that makes him, complete these errors that he's doing at the moment. But what I will say is that the new style of goalkeeper now, it's not all about saving anymore like it used to be and commanding the box. It's how good are you with your feet? And he just doesn't seem to be really, really good with his feet. So Tigara says, Rob Birch, what's he been doing for 2 years? I asked the question. You've got, does Manor Solomon have no place as a football player at Tottenham? Leeds promoted to the Premier League and Tottenham bottom of the Premier League. Well, the answer to this one is Manor Solomon is having a really good season with Leeds at the moment, and Leeds have now been promoted. Leeds are owned by, and there's people that are better versed on Leeds than me in our community. Leeds are managed by funded by the 49ers, and that means that they'll have money to throw at the Premier League when they come up next season, and that Solomon may be one of the players that they may look at now converting from a loan to a permanent. It also then depends as well on the selling club, which is Tottenham, on who the manager and what the setup is next season, and whether they fancy Solomon in the squad or not. If you don't qualify for the Champions League, then decisions need to be made, because you won't have as much money at your disposal as if you're not playing in Europe at all. So decisions will be made at the club. Abdul Rahim says, hi Jose, Chang and chat, how are you? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Great content. LSC versus Spurs, what's your predictions for today's game? Spurs is used for the right reason. Eubank Ben fight, thanks. 1-1, Chang said, and I've gone for 1-2 because I can never back against my team, so I went for 1-2. Wayne Bonner says, Solomon would have been a difference maker this season. Shame if we let him go. And Ronnie says, we have about 7 goalkeepers and that are all not very good. We have 2 goalkeepers out on loan at the moment in Keeley and Gunter, who are playing and having absolutely brilliant loans at the moment. Whether they're Premiership standard or not at the moment, I couldn't answer it, but it hasn't half gone bad, their loans. So they're saying that Keeley will be a Irish international before long. He's 21, I think. They're 21 years of age, so he can't be having that bad a season. Right, people, tomorrow I'm back for the results show for predictions. And the predictions show for next week will be on Wednesday, because there is a game on Thursday night. And obviously we're playing Thursday night. So because there's a Premiership game on Thursday and Friday of next week, I'm doing the prediction show on Wednesday. But the results show will be tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow that do predictions. Chang, thank you very much for today's episode 8. Any last words from you before you go, sir? Because I know you got to dart off to have family dinner with your family.
My final thoughts for this wonderful episode 8. I can't believe it's already been an hour and a half since we started. But I just want the team, whoever it is, who's going to take to the pitch tonight, regardless whether you are starting 11 or a substitute, show Liverpool, show the rest of the world, even the Premiership, that we are not going to go quietly. We're not just going to lay down and let the champions-elect be crowned at our own expense. And on Thursday night, I think we will see a different Spurs. We will see a different mentality as we take on Bodo Glimt for our first leg. I am so looking to next Sunday's episode 9. I think we will have a lot to dissect and unravel from this afternoon's encounter, as well as next Thursday night's first leg. I just hope that by next Sunday I will have fully recovered from everything that is currently ailing me, and onwards and upwards. Come on, you Spurs! Yeah, and let's go to Bilbao for the final, everybody.
And with that, I'm going to say to people, yep, come on, you Spurs, and we will be back for this show next week. Can't end the show without thanking Wayne for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you very much, Wayne. And to Blaine for using his 1 month member badge to put a member chat in there. Guys, thank you very much for watching today. We would love to see you all next week with hopefully better news and a lot more positiveness next week. So with that being said, we finish with come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.